Hi guys, and thank you for taking time to have a chat with myself to the Finest Coffee community. Today we've got Travis Hall from AMP Bank as well as Melissa Christie from AMP Bank. Hi guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Great, thank you.
So I think we've had a lot of conversations about AMP recently. I see all in the media plus also in the group. And I'm very grateful that, to have both of you guys here to have a chat to you, Melissa, about the platform and Trav about the business itself. So can we start from the beginning? What's going on? Because it just feels like it's a brand new bank, So what's going on? Can I pick on you first, Travis?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No problem. Yes. Grab them on.
Yeah. Grab the copper. What's going on? Can you tell me how it's going?
Yeah. So I think it's fair to say, Dan, that we're being reinvigorated as a bank, is probably the best way of putting it. There was a few things when I joined last year in July last year, and there was a few things that I had questions about with AMP Bank as to where they were positioned in market and where, why someone like myself might join the group.
Mm-hmm.
And when Paul Herbert and Michael Christie explained to me the journey with where they've been on and where they're heading,
Mm-hmm.
it was really exciting. And I think a bit of a game changer to the industry. So there's a bit of a history there is in regards to my thoughts and perception of AMP before I started was their funding line and pricing and product was probably inconsistently in and out of the market over a number of years. Mm-hmm. The second thing was in regards to the service proposition and the platforms that they were using. Again, the service was there, it was in the marketplace, but it wasn't really setting the world on fire. And then on top of that, you've got ongoing product development, etc. That's always an opportunity for the brokers. And with over 90% of all our volume coming through the third party channel, it was a line in the sand to say, right, we're here. We want to support the mortgage broking industry, especially when it's 77.8% of all business now written is through the broker channel.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
To redefine with where AMP is going. And one of the things that they did early on to fix their pricing and funding was traditionally they were operating through Treasury and through fixed income brokers, which is brokers that give us term deposits for our funding line. But then on top of that, you've got to pay them a commission like you do with mortgage brokers.
Yeah.
So then what's done is over the last 3 to 4 years with lower interest rates, put a squeeze on things like NIM and ROIC. And that made it more difficult to compete in that space when you don't have a deposit-taking branch network to be able to get those sorts of deposit-taking exercise. Yeah. It makes sense.
Melissa, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. So we've had a lot of comments in the community with regards to how AMP Bank's going and so forth. So it just feels like a brand new bank. Now, Melissa, I've known you for a long time now. You were last with another lender that disrupted the industry in terms of how you were submitting applications digitally. So can you tell us a little bit about the journey now in terms of coming on to AMP and how you're trying to shake it up again? Because like a better word, what you did with the previous lender was to me was out of this world.
So I've been at AMP almost 4 years now. And the idea coming to AMP was to transform the service proposition that we can provide to mortgage brokers. And in that, we wanted to do that with tech. And yes, I have done something similar before. That was around 6 years ago that launched. But technology has moved on so much since then. And there's so much more you can do, particularly around verifying key credit data upfront. And that's the key to our proposition is that we will validate and verify income, expenses, and run our decisioning rules upfront.
Yeah.
So the broker will understand where they're at even before it gets submitted. And that's the key to doing as much upfront and also obviously getting efficiency in the back end so we can get approvals out quicker.
Obviously, with one of the biggest webinar audiences in the industry, I think it was around about 1,800 brokers logging in live that day. Can you tell us a little bit about how that's gone at the moment since it's actually launched?
Yeah, so to be honest, the launch webinar was amazing. We had 1,800 brokers either in person or online.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've rolled out to 15,000 brokers. And to be honest, we've had amazing reaction to the platform. We have actually in September which is when we turned all those brokers on and we switched off our previous platform, we've had our second highest application month in AMP Bank history. So
in history.
In history.
Yeah. Wow.
So brokers have definitely come and tried us and used us. It's been amazing, the support we've had. Unfortunately, with so much volume that we didn't expect, we have actually blown out our service levels, which we didn't want to do. But the good news is we've got the volume and brokers are using us and trying us and are liking what we have. But, you know, the downside to that is that our service levels are blown out and we have taken a few weeks to get back into service.
Okay, so can I just commend you there? Because not many lenders or any business basically would admit to having issues upon launch. So thank you so much on behalf of the audience as well. That you've owned it. You know, it's like you started something new. You didn't expect it to be this successful.
Yes.
And there was teething problems and yeah.
There's definitely, you know, when any major tech transformation, particularly something that no one else has done, there are going to be teething issues. So, you know, but the good thing about getting lots of volume early, you can work through those teething problems quickly. But, you know, we also know that, you know, it's different, it's new. Brokers haven't used it before. We've customized a platform that some brokers already use. So we know that, you know, some brokers will struggle. And we were upfront in our webinar and we had brokers on stage saying it could take you 3 or 4 applications to get used to it. And it's true, it's different. So we know some brokers might take time and to get used to it. Other brokers whiz through it in 18 minutes. So we're just glad that so many brokers have tried us and will continue to try us going forward.
Yeah, could I ask you then, with regards to that, obviously there is massive appetite to try something new and obviously for brokers to support smaller players as well. Did you actually expect to be blown out of the water this much?
We didn't expect to be blown up. No. I thought it would take a bit longer for brokers to transition over to the new platform. It's great that they've come. As I said, we can get through some of the teething issues early, but you know, the downside is we have blown out. We're not giving right now the service that we expect and we should be giving, but we will be back on track.
Oh, that's just an awesome, proud moment for you guys, I bet, because, you know, getting the record-breaking amount of applications to the bank, brokers are just hungry to try something new, right? So this is awesome.
Yeah. And, you know, we're also learning that there's things we can tighten up in what we've built as well to make the decisions come through quicker. But, you know, the key thing around digital income is we want brokers to submit on digital income so the credit analyst doesn't even need to look at income for the deal. And that's what we need to spend some more time educating brokers on the benefits of that.
Yeah. Could I ask you quickly with the digital income then, how's that working? How's that supposed to work?
Yeah, so there's a few ways we verify digital income up front. The first way for a PAYG customer, we will attempt to match with Equifax and pull their income direct from the payroll provider into the application. The second way, if we don't get a match on a PAYG customer, we can scan their payslip that they've uploaded and pull the data off that.
That's OCR, right? That's for the lay people out there, that is optical character recognition.
Yeah. And we run, for both those solutions, we run calculations in the background and then we present the digital income, what AMP Bank calls digital income, on screen. And then they can see that and can run serviceability on the digital income or the declared.
I can see a couple of benefits there. Obviously, when you're not actually data entering anything, it means that you're not going to be making any mistakes, right? And number 2, obviously, when you don't make mistakes, it doesn't slow down the process. So what I mean by that is that, you know, when you basically input one digit wrong in someone's date of birth, for example, you actually end up creating a secondary credit file, which slows the process down and then potentially, you know, cause all sorts of delays in the application itself. So having the OCR inside the process is pretty cool. Yeah, this will be amazing.
And then we also verify digitally rental income so that doesn't need to be checked either. We go straight to Cotality to check the income, and then we verify what the broker's put in. And if it's fine within our tolerance level, nothing to provide.
Yeah. Travis, you got anything to add to that?
I think the other thing, Dean, with the rollout of the new platform, and what I'm really proud about of what Melissa and the team have achieved, is I think a lot of other institutions probably look at how is this platform going to benefit their business.
Yep.
What we've done is, and Melissa, correct me if anything that I say is not 100% spot on because it was before my time, but even from the design factor of this platform was done in conjunction with a forum of brokers. Going from the design then into actual build every fortnight, Melissa?
Yep, every fortnight.
Every fortnight, the brokers sat down with the build team and actually went through the process to make sure that the platform benefited the brokers that were part of the pilot and the broader group of brokers was going to benefit their business and create those efficiencies, remove duplications, and rework for a broker. So ultimately, a broker's business, every hour is money out of their business. So if you don't create those efficiencies and it takes longer for them to go from application through to settlement, let's call it 18 hours, that's 18 hours of work that the brokers had to do. And if you can reduce that down to X number of hours savings, that's money back in the broker's pocket where they can then also support other customers.
Okay, so just a couple of things to talk about the new branding, because there's lots of comments on it. A recent post in the group. I'm gonna have to ask you about your blue sheep. All right. So we actually have something on Finance Coffee called lender merch, the best lender merch, right? And it's and I think the blue sheep's becoming a bit of a favorite at PD days.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about it? Because obviously, there's some funny banter on the group about the blue sheep, what it means and so forth, right?
Firstly, regarding merch, I think it's really important. As a bank, we've been for the last 18 months really looking at the type of merch that is presented to PD days and conferences and differentiating between the two. If you're at a PD day, you want to get probably some merch that's going to probably add value to your business, or the little trinkets and things on those lines that you can use within the business. Whereas at conference, it's a bit different. You got to carry that and lug that all the way home. So we've been looking at the different type of merch that we're offering to the broker channel now for the last 18 months. Sparky is the name of the blue sheep, and Sparky was representative. If you looked at the actual launch of the platform that was on the 30th of July, it was actually displayed in the background. And what the blue sheep represents is AMP standing out in the crowd. And that's exactly what it is to do things differently, not for the sake of doing them, but to add real value to this industry and continue to work on that from a digital perspective to add efficiencies and create opportunities for brokers in their business.
Okay, so now we're talking about standing out as a bank, right? As well as obviously another organisation, standing outside of the crowd.
Not just the banks. We want to stand out from the 80-odd suppliers that are out in the marketplace. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, we've got a few comments in the group with regards to a few brokers having hiccups using the platform the first time. Now, I know that behind the scenes, Travis, you've helped get that fixed. But for other in the audience right now, if you were to see them, is there any tips, tricks, or anything they should look out for in terms of getting a smoother process with you guys?
I think on using social media, it's a fantastic platform first and foremost, and any comment that is placed on those types of mediums is an opportunity and should be seen as an opportunity for any group that's actually aligned with these social medias. So we look at the feedback. We look at how do we actually could support that broker, and not only the broker but other people that may comment on that. We reach out to them. We'll offer them suggestions and solutions and training if need be. We've had some examples, Dean, that you're aware of. In recent times that there's been a comment that's been placed through the Facebook group, and once we were able to reach out to the broker, I think they probably jumped on and put some comments in there really before really giving the platform an opportunity. And once they've gone through it, not only have they submitted one application, we've seen the second and third application. By the time they probably get into that third application, they're probably smooth sailing all the way through it now. So I think that's the main.
It's initial frustration. It's different. It's not what they're used to, and we understand that. So we have loads of training, and we do reach out to people, obviously, to help them wherever we can.
And that probably that's a really good point that Melissa raises. I think that there's a number of brokers that have gone from our old platform to Loan App and Sympology under our new platform, and possibly haven't taken the time to invest and educate themselves in the new platform. We have so many tools and resources available to them on our website and our training hub. There's videos, there's lengthy videos, there's shorter videos, there's information about how to access it and use the platform itself.
And
There's
step-by-step PDF guides on every screen and what you have to do. Yeah.
So I think one of the opportunities is for brokers to use the tools that are available to them, reach out to their BDMs, which I know that they have because we've obviously had a lot of applications in the door, but continue to use the resources that are available to. If you think that you're going to go from the old platform to the new one and not do some training associated to it, I think there's an opportunity for the broker.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what else you guys have in store for the broker market at the end of the year and coming into 2026. Now, I understand that with regard to, yes, we've got some teething problems, but you guys are looking at something that's pretty cool in terms of speed to answer. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's lots of things, the platform's now launched, but there's still lots of stuff to do. 90-second docs through our partner MSA National, who we now use for our settlement process.
So can I stop you there and go, 90-second docs, what?
Yeah,
That's
one of the key proposition at launch we announced was we're moving to 90-second docs. We haven't turned it on yet because the key thing for me is making sure that all the data is moving correctly between Sympology and MSA National, who's our new settlement partner. Once we're confident in that, and we will be confident, in November, we will be turning 90-second docs on, which means after unconditional approval and instruction, we can get docs out basically instantly to a customer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's coming in November. And the other key things we're working on the platform is linked applications, top-ups, and we'll also look at further income verification on the self-employed side, so we can look at company tax returns and notice of assessments down the track as well.
Okay, that's pretty quick. Do you think that brokers will need to change the messaging to their customers in order to accommodate the speed of that?
So I think it's really important for brokers to position with the new digital positioning with 90-second documents going to customer from an unconditional. So from unconditional to documents going out to the customer in an email in 90 seconds. Yeah. I think brokers are going to need to pivot in the way they operate and educate their customers about the process and what their experience is going to be. So historically, they've been able to get the information from the lender. They've got an unconditional approval that's come through, to the broker. And then what they do is they pick up the phone and they ring Melissa up and say, "Congratulations, Melissa, your loan's been approved." But before we're even able to do that, the document's already sitting in Melissa's inbox. Yeah. So what we need to do is position with the customer up front to say, the way the digital age now is, Melissa, your experience with someone dealing with a bank like AMP is once they go unconditionally approved, documents were sitting in the initial inbox, but myself as the broker, I'm still going to pick up the telephone and share with you the great news that your loan's still been approved. Yeah. Go and check your inbox because the document's already sitting there. That's pretty cool.
Now, just going back to the essence of F&C, obviously people get on there because they want to share about policies they don't know about and so forth, right? So, Trav, can you let us know what we should look out for in terms of policy niches with AMP?
Yeah, so in July last year, we made some significant shifts in our products and policy changes. Probably the key ones that would probably have changed is our self-employed policy, whereas we were a true lender with 12-month policy for self-employed. And what that means is we only want tax returns for 12 months. We don't want to see financials. If you give us financials, that's actually too much information because it shares across the 2 years. So just give us 1 year's tax returns for personal, company, and notice of assessment. And we'll actually go up to 90% LVR, plus LMI for owner-occupied and inclusive of LMI for investment for self-employed customers. So that's a real niche for AMP Bank. The other one is, as well as we introduced the master limit, which is going back to our old days, Dean, when you and I in the marketplace, which is like a line of credit.
Line of credit, yeah.
And this is really designed around your pre-retirees and your retirees to provide them with a solution that is more flexible and providing solutions to them that can actually help them manage their funds ongoing. So that is a minimum $10,000 line of credit. And let's say, for example, you then have a $600,000 home loan and then different splits in regards to investment for the other $390,000 for $1 million facility. Yeah. As you pay down that $600,000, and let's say you pay down $200,000 out of the 600, that then brings the owner-occupied limit down to 400. You can then align that other $200,000 back into other investment purposes. Yeah. And the other thing that we did is introduced a 10-year interest-only product earlier this year.
10 years.
10-year interest only, without the need to do a further assessment at 5 years, which is, again, not available in the marketplace.
No.
And that is, again, designed around freeing up the flexibility, providing flexible solutions to customers. So they might just need some breathing space in regards to, over the 10 years, in regards to their repayments. They might be like myself, a couple of kids in school that just need a little bit of breathing space for a period, or looking to actually do investment without having to worry under an interest-only facility that needs to be reviewed after a 5-year period. We've got that in market as well.
In summary, 1 year tax return, master limit, 10-year interest only. Pretty cool.
Yep.
So I can really see the sort of the clientele you're trying to go after as well, right? So clients that brokers will be positioning to buy not just the first home, but the second, third, and so forth home, right? Because that's what the master limit's all about.
Correct.
Yeah. And then obviously when you're the self-employed, they're going to come back sooner. They're going to need basically lending for other things such as asset finance, working capital, and so forth. So, and also it means that those clients are going to go back to the broker sooner. So kudos for that. So, yeah.
And the other, what we've clearly defined with our strategy, that there's a lot of Australians that are getting to retirement age and they've still got a mortgage. So let's free up their cash flow at probably their busiest time of the year, which is probably someone like myself in their 50s, kids, house, mortgage, the whole lot. Let's free up their cash flow in interest-only facilities to actually help them be a little bit more flexible in regards to what their lifestyle is and what they want to do from an investment or personal life as well.
Fantastic. So we know that brokers love to use you guys. You guys have been very responsive with any teething problems and so forth. So what do you say to the brokers? Was there any tips that you've got for brokers that want to come back and do the third, fourth, and fifth deal, and how to make that process much more smoother? Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. So the key thing is to submit on digital income. If you submit on digital income, that means that the credit assessor won't need to review the income at all. That's part of their decisioning rules will be satisfied. So it's key to submit on digital income. The other thing is, if there is something outstanding, an info request is sent, make sure that you respond to each one individually, because it's only after you respond to all of them is when we get alerted that file is ready to be picked up again. The next thing is that when you start an application and consent is triggered to the customer, make sure you trigger the verification of identity at the same time so the customer can do those things together. That will speed up you being able to progress the application. The other thing is make sure that your loans and your security properties are put into the application upfront before you attempt to choose a product. We will only show you products that are relevant to the scenario you've entered in the application. So make sure you get your loans and the security property values correct first. And the other thing is, if you do have an issue with VOI or identification and it hasn't worked or you've had to have it skipped, make sure you upload certified copies of ID in the supporting docs, and that means your application will continue moving without us having to come back to you.
Fantastic. And then worst case is call your BDM or broker support staff, I'm assuming?
There's probably add one more further to that is, again, going back to the training and investing in your business as a broker and making sure that the tools that we've given you, utilising the tools and the resources on our broker hub and via our BDMs to understand and get to know this brand new platform that we've brought to market. I think that once you've got through, as Melissa said, the first and second experience, I think the third and fourth and beyond is going to open up a different world for you. So that's a really exciting opportunity. Yep.
I think just going back to the very beginning of the conversation, Melissa, and I said, what you did with the previous lender that you're with, I mean, it like you actually ended up getting very almost cult-like following because what you guys did there was amazing, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing, the journey that AMP platform is going to go through as well, because this is going to be cool, because as we know with everything right now in terms of tech, everything's changing every couple of months, right? You guys are able to be more nimble than the bigger players, so which is pretty awesome. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the platform we've got is flexible, and as we need to move with the market, we can make changes instantly without having to wait for delays or releases. We can pivot really quickly. So that's part of the reason of moving to a new platform.
So, Travis, have you got any last words or tips before
Thank you. I think it's an opportunity for brokers that are tired of rework, tired of duplication, and want to create efficiencies in their business to look at AMP as a bespoke way of actually supporting them in their business, and to reach out to your BDMs. If you haven't given us a try yet, reach out and give us a go.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? Thank you guys for taking time to come and chat to me today. Melissa, thank you very much for coming down from Sydney.
Thank you.
And Travis, again, thank you, mate, for having a chat with me.
Awesome. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Dean.
And tune in next time for our next Finance and Coffee chatting with me.